Yes. Sona, welcome.
Thank you.
With your beautiful instrument, kora, the
Yes.
kora. When I look at it like this, and I don't get to see such instrument up close on a daily basis, it looks really interesting and beautiful to me. What does it mean to you?
It means everything to me, you know. It's the music it's the instrument that takes my heart, my soul. I think everything about it is what I communicate with. And I'm able to express myself freely on it, unlike any of the other instruments that I've played.
Okay. What makes it so special? I mean, there are how many strings? 21.
21 altogether. Yeah.
21. And what does it take to play the instrument, like technically?
A lot of time, yeah. Like any instrument, though.
Practice.
It takes a lot of practice, yeah. But with this as well, because it carries a very heavy tradition, it's not just the technique of learning to play it. You have to spend a lot of years understanding the tradition that it belongs to. The music is an oral tradition, so it's not written. You have to learn everything by ear, by memory, and that takes a lot of years of studying with your elders to try to absorb the tradition, the repertoire, and the meaning of the songs, and the history of the songs. There's so much to it than just to play it. There's a lot more to it.
Yeah. Well, all of this tradition and history from Gambia, where you're from, how did you get all of that while you were living in London and were born and raised there?
By being always connected with my family, you know, I was always there. So it's like my childhood was really split between two places, you know, and always being in contact with the family and the music and the culture. I was fortunate that my older brother was studying with my father at the time as well. So even when I was in London, I was still learning from him because he was also in the UK with me. So throughout the years that I wasn't, you know, sort of having a chance to study with my father, I was able to study with my dad. Yeah. And then when I was in Gambia, my grandfather, he never taught me directly, but I was always around it. So you absorb, again, you absorb a lot of the music orally.
Because what kind of a family are you from? It's a musical family?
Yes, it's called a griot family.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Griot is the term used to talk about certain families in the Manding part of West Africa, which dates to the Malian Empire specifically. And that tradition was established around that time, 13th century. Since then, we've had certain families that take care of the music for society. So this is not the music for outside society. This is the music for people, for kings, for royalty, for royal court. This is the instrument that belongs to that tradition.
Wow.
So the griots are certain families, and you have to be born into one of those families to be able to take up this instrument.
Really? And then, so you have to be from that family, and then it's also not common even to play it when you're a woman.
Right.
So it's only for certain men.
For griot men.
Yeah.
That's right.
So you were born in a griot family, woman. How did you pick up this instrument? What happened?
I started making noise on it when I was young, you know, like just messing around with it. And my brother saw I had an interest in it, you know, I was just, as you know, small children do. So he's the first one that started to teach me just small, very simple things. And over the years, I stuck with it. And then later, I think I was in my teenage. That's the years I decided I really wanted to do this professionally, not just as something that I do at home and for enjoyment. It's something I want to pursue.
And then he taught you, and also your father.
Yes, yeah.
And they were willing to do that. They didn't tell you like that's not for a woman.
My brother was very for supporting for me to do it. I don't think necessarily just because I was a woman, but you know, I was always with him.
Yeah.
But my father, you know, he said to me that he wasn't sure, to be honest, if I was serious about it or not. But I know the time that he realized I was serious because he just looked at me in a different way. And he said to me, you know what, if you're really going to do this thing, make sure you become a good kora player. Don't be a female kora, just be a good kora player. And I'm going to give you what I know. And that moment, I remember sitting with him and him saying that to me, and that for me just gave me the confidence and the boost to really stick with it, because I felt he believed I could do it.
So it's not the most important thing that you're the first female kora virtuoso. It's
For him, no.
Yeah,
it was
it's
just
more
that he
important.
wanted a legacy. I'm the next generation from him, so he can pass it on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you maybe let me hear a piece just by yourself, because you played with the band, which is beautiful. They support the instrument beautifully, but just to hear the character of the instrument.
Yeah. Okay.
On its own.
Yeah. It's a little difficult sitting down, to be honest. It's better to stand.
To stand.
So I will just play a small part of a traditional song. This is one of the songs I took from my father. So it's a traditional song, not my composition, but it's one of the first songs that I took from my father.
All
so.
right. You hear a rhythm, even if it's not the music that you're used to or that you know. When you play, you hear, you hear a beat through it.
That's right. Yeah.
Wow,
that's right.
Amazing. Yeah. Now, I think you are an example to a lot of women for picking up this instrument. Are there any other female kora players that you know of?
Well, I actually taught the kora for many, many years in London, and I would say 80% of my students were women.
Really?
Yeah.
That's where you also, you were born there also.
So I was, and I studied at university in the UK. So, but the women are not from griot families, though. They are from all over the world, you know. But so it's much more unusual to find, it's not unusual to find women learning the instrument, but to find women from inside the griot families to take it up, because the tradition is so strong on them that I think there's more restrictions for them to take it up than women who are born outside of those families.
I see. You also studied cello, piano, classical music, right? Do you feel that that has changed the way you play the kora? Having that classical background also.
It's very hard to analyze what would have been if you didn't do something, because it becomes a part of you. But what I would say there is that I went on a journey. I started with the kora. I went to study classical music, orchestration, notation, and so on. But I came to a certain point where I didn't connect anymore with the music. I felt I had got everything I could get from it. Learning the ropes, learning so much about, you know, the written world of music. Now I wanted to feel fulfilled musically again. And the only place I could find it was at the beginning, which was what I left, was the kora. I never really truly left it behind. I continued to play it in my pastimes, but I couldn't really invest my time in it much. So it's like a full circle. I came back to the kora, and again the love and the way that it touches me was never changed. So in a way it feels like it didn't change, but maybe something I added, I don't know. Yeah.
Now you also have a school, which is quite special. I mean, you're a young girl and also, you know, recording music, and you found time to set up a school in Gambia. What kind of a music institution is that?
This was inspired by the years of teaching in institutions and universities in the UK, and also in Germany as well, and in America, doing a lot of work in the university circuit. I had a problem that there was nowhere for students to go in the Gambia to further their studies. We are learning about African music, African history, African culture in Europe, But if you go to Africa, there's no place to continue study. And it didn't make sense to me. You know, why are we not bridging that connection? So for me, it was about trying to set up an institution in the Gambia which can preserve history and the music and the culture for young people in the Gambia. At the same time, to also be able to help continue and further studies for international students who are studying in universities abroad at a high level. So it's the first institution in the Gambia of this type, so which is a full-time school. So the children learn all of their normal subjects they will learn in the school at the private school education
So they
level.
stay there?
They're there from every day of the week, normal hours of school, English, maths, science, all the rest of it. But we have a focus on music, so they do a lot of intensive study on music. And the reason they are accepted into the school is based on musical talent only, not on their academic achievement, only on musical talent.
Wow.
So it's something which is a new thing in the country very much, and it's growing and it's so inspiring.
Yeah, I can imagine. You're investing in the future.
This is it, and this actually is what it means to be a griot, is to always invest in the future.
And to pass on
to
music
the next generation.
and the generations.
Yes.
Wow, amazing. You're working on a new album, but you're really taking your time.
Yes.
I'm all for that. I'm a singer myself.
Okay, good.
People are always asking,
it's not many.
why is it taking so long?
Yes.
What are you doing?
Right.
What do you have in mind? What kind of goal do you have? When is it ready for you?
It's ready when it's ready. But I would say that I know where it's going, and that is the reason I'm taking my time, because I know when it's not there.
Yeah.
Every step for me means something. It's not just a music album that I'm doing music. It means something in this tradition, because understanding where the tradition has come from and understanding the importance of every generation to make its mark. The first album for me made my mark on the scene, established my position in this tradition. The second statement for me is an even more important one. So I can't just rush it and make it. It's not just a musical venture. It's also a historic one for me, and also an ancestral journey for me. Something I'm trying to carry everything that I've taken and bring it into a new creation and create, in a way, a new sound for myself and a new sound for the tradition that I'm born into. So it's a hugely important landmark in my life, so I need to be very careful in how I place it. So
I say take all the time you need. When it's out, we will know about it.
Yes.